Fans, you see this guy right here? That's Norm the Niner. That's what I did it for, folks. Hello again. I'm Ed Niser, former host of Niner Access and play-by-play voice of the Shuffle Niners men's soccer team for the past couple of years. And I'm taking a hiatus back here in Clinton, Massachusetts upon graduation, working as a local sports writer and covering a lot of teams I faced as a football player back in the day. Now, let's talk about Shuffle Niners soccer. That's what we're here for, right? Niners soccer doing very well this year, capturing the regular season crown yet again in the A-10. They're playing in the A-10 tournament right now as we speak. Now, do I think they'll make the NCAA tournament? Absolutely. It'll probably be about a 6 or 7 seed. But let's reflect back to some of my favorite moments inside Niners broadcast booth. Now, I've had the opportunity to call the A-10 tournament a couple of years back when Charlotte last hosted it, but they fell right in the quarterfinals round to the 6th seed, Xavier Musketeers, 5-3 in the shoot. I remember that game all too clearly. The keeper for the Musketeers, he was outstanding. He was outstanding in net, and he just absolutely took over throughout the game. You know, that was Justin Marshall. I remember calling that kid the high rise, and he was about 6'3", 185 pounds, but that was a heartbreak for the Niners. But they rebounded nicely the next year. They made a couple NCAA tournaments in my time there when they played Wilmington. I remember the old Fog Bowl. I wasn't calling the games at that time, but that was just absolutely crazy. It was in November, I think it was late November game. The mist and the fog was clearing the field back in 2009. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, I remember knocking my friend's couch over when the 49ers were on the way to the Final Four. We knocked the couch. We're sitting there watching the old live stream online on the big screen TV. You imagine how pixelated that was. I absolutely lost it, and I think we very narrowly broke my friend's couch. You know, it was just a lot of fun. And then I was back in the newsroom that night, and myself, Andrew Baker, and the rest of the Niner media staff ran down and tried to get the story when they heard the boys were coming back, and they had a little bit of a party for them out there by the field house where the Niners locker rooms were, and that was pretty cool. Head coach Jeremy Gunn was standing on top of a vehicle out there, saluting the fans, thanking them for all their support, and hoping to see them in Hoover. And then, as a student, we all marched to the chancellor's house and, asked at the front door for some buses to go see the guys play in the Final Four and then eventually the College Cup. And, our wish was granted. 4 buses came, $20 a pop. You get to see a couple games, and why not? You almost got to witness history. You did get to witness history. Bands came together, and that's when the Queen City Army really was born. They never really had a name. It's kind of like a orphan. They were the orphan group of soccer supporters, and they finally came to being the Queen City Army, and that was cool just to be a part of that. Sitting in the stands, fans. I'm used to broadcasting games, but they put the big dogs in the booth. It was the ESPNU guys calling the game, and they put me back in the stands. I guess they said, "Hey, you can broadcast from the stands if you want, but we're not giving you any equipment." So I just kind of talked out loud. If you were standing next to me at the time, you could hear me, making my analysis points, and that's kind of a bad habit I have now too when I'm covering local high school sports for the newspaper I write for. But any event, a lot of fun, a lot of weary nights, and I had a test the next day after the championship game on Monday morning, and we didn't get back till 3 a.m. But they lost 1-0 to the Tar Heels, and we all remember Donnie Smith getting dragged down in the 18-yard box in the second half. Could have resulted in a goal. You never know. That PK, Niners were PK specialists. They had advanced in a couple shootout games throughout the term, and you never know what could have happened. That's what happens with soccer. It's one play can change the whole outcome of the game. But back to this year's team, I think they'll, with the caption regular season crown, winning the A-10 tournament, it's nice, but it really doesn't matter. I think this team will get a 6 or 7 seed regardless. Fans, that's all I got for you. Once again, my name is Ed Niser, former play-by-play voice of the Shuffle Niners men's soccer team and baseball team with all their home games, and former host of Niner Access. Joining you via YouTube from my home in Clinton, Massachusetts. Take care, everybody. Wear green. And you know what to do. Go out there and support the 49ers. And this man right here, Norm the Niner. Take care, everybody.